Mixcloud. The Husk on Mixcloud. Barry and Irina are speaking in your ear holes. Playing a bit of music, having a bit of chat and that. The Husk on Mixcloud. The Husk on Mixcloud. Turn it up loud. Warning, may contain the levelers.
Well, it's the Husk Unfiltered Radio made in Brighton, and we're here now with the actual author of that little jingle there. We've got Carl Anderson on the Husk. Welcome, Carl.
Hello.
Now, Carl, we started again at the Husk, and last week we had the lovely Georgia Hazelgrave on.
It was a lovely show.
Beautiful. Just doing, gentle, lovely, melodic folk. And we've gone from that, and now we've got you on.
Yep, that's it's nice to swing things both ways.
You got to see the other side of the dice in life. That's what I think. It's all about the contrast. So we've got you on to talk about a few things, but I think the main thing we're going to talk about is your wrestling. Last time you were on the show, you had just started taking up wrestling at the age of 48.
Yeah.
So where are you at now?
Well, I started it, and my goal was to take part in a wrestling show before my 50th birthday.
Uh-huh.
And obviously, these unprecedented times slapped us right in the face. It's very difficult to learn wrestling 2 meters away from anyone.
Yes. We should point out to the listeners that we are not talking about Olympic wrestling here.
No. This is the WWE World of Sport style of wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been off practicing for a while, I presume.
Yeah. Well, so it all fizzled out in lockdown 1. Then there was a little gap. When we started, I was able to do sort of like socially distanced wrestling lessons, and I was doing wrestling theory lessons, which are quite interesting, which are learning how to tell the story that you want to tell during a match, and how to create a good vibe for the audience,
and the sense of drama.
Yes, a good sense of drama.
Cool. Now, so I happen to know that you have just had your first match.
I have, which is, we started back again, sort of like slowly doing up, and then we were paired up with someone that'd be the only person that you'd wrestle. So you kept it as low risk as you can. Right.
Now this is the Jacobite, and I've got here, I'm just going to play this for everybody, his promotional sort of video thing where he sort of gives you a bit of jip, right?
Well, yeah, he started it,
and well, no offense to the Jacobite, but I'd say this is the sort of standard kind of wrestling talk thing. This is about what I would expect, right? So let's have a little quick watch of this.
You can beat the Jacobite. You're not trying 3 rounds with the Jacobite. You're an old man. Have no point being in the ring with the Jacobite. Your end is inside.
There you go.
He's
quite angry, isn't he?
He's a big guy.
Well, I was going to say this. He's really big, isn't he?
Yeah, he is a big guy, and
I'm going to assume you won't be throwing him over your head at any point.
Not at the moment. Yeah. I think I'd have to work on my strength quite a lot.
I'm going to take it he is actually Scottish.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Is he toning up his accent for it, or is that how he?
Yeah.
Talks? Yeah.
He's toning, but the Jacobite is Scottish.
Now wrestling's not. It's not a thing I fully get. But what I'd say is, having watched some wrestling in my life and have taken people to wrestling, that video there and that sort of thing, that's sort of what you'd expect, right?
Yeah.
And now we've got your video reply. This is your reply to the Jacobite. It's a little bit longer.
Can you hear it? Yes, I can hear it. No, can you really hear it? Yes, I can hear it over the cacophony. I can hear you, Jacobite. So, you want to meet Carlos Chaotico? In the squared circle. Take the edges off a square. You'll make a circle. Add edges to a circle. Who knows what it will make? Yes, I'll meet you there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And chaos will reign. But ultimately, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Wins or losses. At the end of the day, the only thing is chaos. And that is what happens to everything. Chaos.
You're still going, Carl.
Yeah.
Mask is back on. Do you ever think, Carl, that you've gone too far?
Well, I did a second promo video as well, where I wrote a poem for Jacobite.
We've got this here. Yeah, I'm not going to play it, but I had a little look at it earlier, and you play some. Well, you have these sort of masked people here.
Yeah.
And then you're doing some ad-lib poetry.
Well, yeah, very basic poetry.
Yeah. Do you think that the wrestling fans will warm to you? Are you the new Undertaker?
Oh, definitely not the new Undertaker. Well, the character Carlos Chaotico, he's as I'm learning to wrestle and as I'm wrestling, his character is developing. Originally, I was, I wanted him to be the chaotic midlife crisis Carlos Chaotico.
Right, okay.
But slowly, he's now becoming the Dadaist pugilist.
Okay.
And I kind of like the idea of the character being a Dadaist, which is the art movement before surrealism that sort of kind of gave birth to surrealism, that came out of the world wars and the futility of war.
I mean, this is where most of the wrestlers find their inspiration, isn't it? In the
it's surprising. There are, I think now there are a lot of kind of deeper wrestlers. A lot of people think about like the wrestlers of the 80s and stuff. Your Hulk Hogan. You've got the American guy. You've got the foreign bad guy.
Yeah.
Or you've got the
guy who was
superheroes.
sort of dressed to look a bit like Saddam Hussein.
Yeah, that kind of thing. And I think that's not going to work in these modern days. And so a lot of wrestlers are getting into sort of like kind of a bigger picture. There's a fantastic wrestler called Car Noir, or the Black Swan, and he comes out to the Swan Lake music. He's an he's an ex ballet dancer.
Okay.
And he got thrown out of the Royal Ballet for his anger issues.
Right. I hope they threw him out over the top rope.
Yeah. Well, through the door and into wrestling. And he, listening to it, and he's done various podcasts talking about his method, and it really is going into the realm of big theatre,
right,
and performance arts.
Yeah.
And I think he's definitely at the forefront of the sort of like going, this is performance art.
Okay. Now, so you've actually had this match with Jacobite behind closed doors, no audience.
No audience.
It has been filmed.
It's been filmed. It's being edited at the moment.
Okay.
I think
Edited?
Well, it's not. Well. We had our entrances. Well, that sounds quite rude. Things like the entrance, and there's you have that graphic at the beginning of a match where they're facing off one another, which we did on green screen.
Yeah.
And then there's also the stuff like having the commentary put on.
Oh, okay, yeah. So when are we the loyal customer going to be able to,
hopefully this should be at the beginning of August.
Okay.
There's about 10 matches which are being put together at the moment, and I think there's going to be a couple of kind of shows.
And where do we go to get it? What do we pay? What happens?
Quality Wrestling.
Right.
Academy.
Okay.
And it's the Quality Wrestling Academy virtual showcase.
Okay. And we're going to pay, is that right?
No,
it's free.
No, it's free.
Right.
I think it's going to be a YouTube, and it will be on Facebook as well.
Okay.
I think it's on
and
YouTube.
Is this all first-time wrestlers like yourself?
Not everyone's a first-time wrestler. It's all the people that go to the academy and have been learning.
Yeah.
Many of them are it's first time. Some they're a bit more experienced.
So I'm thinking that out of the people that that have sort of gone for lessons,
yeah,
I think there must be something a bit odd about people that.
Well, to be honest, I think there's something quite odd about wrestling fans.
Right.
To be honest,
that was too much of a large group for me to target in one go, so I started with the participants.
Well, I think I've been going to wrestling shows since about 2000 regularly.
Yeah.
Going to Worthing to watch the wrestling, and I can't. I really enjoy the wrestling in Worthing. I've been to see big shows. I've seen the WWE. I've seen shows in Japan, and I've seen some stuff. But I just love old school British wrestling.
Right.
There's something fantastic about going into watch these. It's a great leveler. All the people in the audience, they can shout whatever they like at all the people, and it's a great release. And it's made me understand why people like sports a lot more. Going to the wrestling, and there's that great crowd thing of getting behind, the person that you want to win, and cheering them on, and the story that happens in.
I'm interested
within
in
that
you
match.
say that there's an oddness about people that are really into it. What do you think that is? What's underneath it?
I really. It's difficult to say. You got the classic thing of whenever you say, "Oh, I like wrestling," people will always say, "Oh, you do know it's not real." And it's kind of like they don't use real bullets in action films.
Yeah.
But they're still exciting. And it's I think that's part of it. I think there is a new generation of wrestling fans, and I think perhaps that's helped with the internet. It's joined all these people together to go, oh, actually I like wrestling, and a lot more people can talk to other people about liking wrestling, rather than it. Before the internet, it was perhaps you and a couple of mates, and everyone else was going, no, I don't like wrestling.
Yeah.
Whereas now there's a bit, there's a bit more of a bigger community that is easier to access, and you can see that it's not just kids who like the wrestling. There's adults, and there's a bigger story to. One of the fascinating things with wrestling is it sits in this weird grey area where the whole it's predetermined thing. There are times when wrestling really messes with that, and you see someone and they get injured and you think, are they really injured?
And they sort of, if they get really injured, they kind of take it into the show, don't they?
Yeah, and it gets
sort of make it work
it's
somehow.
a fascinating thing in that you're not sure what's real.
Yeah.
And what's part of the show.
You can stop me if I'm wrong about this, but there's the film that we've talked about it, haven't we, with the Page, whatever that film
yes,
called, Fighting with My Family, which is a great film, right? But then I was looking up the reality of that, and I think what happened was that she went into this match and she won the match, but she didn't actually know that she was going to win the match. So when she did win the match, and she was sort of like, looking really happy, that was because she was like totally overwhelmed by the experience. So they'd sort of manufactured this kind of real, unreal thing going on.
I think sometimes that may happen, and it is to get a genuine reaction from the person who wins.
Now riddle me this, Anderson.
Yeah.
You've taken it to the next level. You've gone into the ring. You've had an actual wrestling fight. Is that a significant step up from the training, or is it just kind of like you're totally prepared for it? It's sort of more of the same, but you just feel a bit more pressure because there's a camera on you. Is it physically harder? Are you having to put more effort in, or is it just kind of...
Yes, because you need to emote more, and the story needs to be told. That is really tiring. You got you got to tell the story while you're wrestling, and that really takes it out of you.
And is there any genuine physical tussle that goes on? Like, I can imagine, like, you must get a little bit sort of aggro with each other in some way.
Yeah, I think perhaps not necessarily so much at my level, but yeah, there can be times, and a lot of it depends on who you're against and things like that. There can be times when it can go. This is the grey area where you're never sure if people actually don't like each other.
Yeah. You must be looking forward to actually doing it with an audience. I should imagine that make all the difference, won't
Well,
it?
that's a great thing. I had this goal for being part of a show before my 50th, and I've kind of done it by doing this video showcase.
You have.
And I think in a way that was a really nice way of putting my toe in the water without having to think so much about the audience. When you're in the ring trying to entertain an audience, it's all about, when I was doing it, it was about working the cameras and telling the story through onomatopoeias and facial expressions. Whereas now I'm quite looking forward to, hopefully getting good enough to be able to do a live audience. So, it's moved my goal on.
Can you
a
still
bit.
fit that in before your 50th, do you reckon? When is your 50th?
End of August is
End of
my
August, a bit
50th.
tight,
Yeah, I don't think that will happen. But, if I keep training and keep getting my head round bits. I'm very much a muscle memory, a physical learner. That's how I learn. I'm not someone who I need to actually do stuff. I need to make mistakes to work out how I'm doing stuff. Today, I'm literally just back from a wrestling lesson. And
yes.
Like today,
which you travel all the way to Havant for, don't you?
yeah, it's a reasonable distance. Yeah.
It's quite a commitment.
Yeah, but then that's the nearest school that I know of.
Now, last time we had you here, it was pre-coronavirus, but you'd foreseen the future, and you put us both in masks.
Yes.
Yeah. I've got a picture here, and in this picture, you made me put these sort of tights on my head.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was a very strange day. Have you got anything with you today? Got any masks with you?
I've actually got those masks with me.
Oh,
here
right,
today
okay.
As well. But,
I mean, now my hair's gone. I already look a bit like a bank robber or a sort of failed Mitchell brother. So I don't know if I need anything else.
It's weird. The other day when I saw you in the level,
yeah, with my staffy,
both Em and I were I kept thinking, oh, that's no, it isn't. Yeah, no, it isn't. Yeah, no, that's Paco, but no, that's not. So we recognised the dog before we recognised you.
I see my own reflection and I think, oh fucking hell, I better cross over the road. I don't want to bump into him. Your lady, she saw me and she went, oh, it's you. I thought it was just a man and a dog. I was like, I am a man and a dog. That's what we are. Bloody hell! Right, I'm gonna play some. You not got Humphrey? Is Humphrey around?
I did hear. I'm trying to make sure that Humphrey doesn't know anything about wrestling because the thought of Humphrey Pobbinson.
Oh God, he'll be your manager.
No.
He'll be like Paul Bearer, but more accountancy based.
Yeah, more an accountant based Paul Bearer.
He can just be at the side of the ring, like filling in a ledger. Yeah. Or something.
Like, no.
Although it might be difficult for you to be around the ring at the same time.
That may be difficult. But he's a busy man.
He is busy. That's very true. Right, now you're obviously mad as a brush. I mean, you really are one of the most odd people I've ever met. So you've got some music. You're involved in all sorts of musical project.
Yes.
And this one we're going to play something by, what's this? Talk me through this. What's this?
This is
this is one of those things where you find weird music, you can't even fucking pronounce what it is. So let's go through it. Tell me what it is.
So it's Nostril Flair.
Nostril Flair.
And
Great
this
name.
is a collaboration that has happened during the pandemic. Me and a Chandor, a guy from Holland.
Uh-huh.
He sends me little bits. I add stuff to them, send them back to him.
Yeah.
And he's been very, very enthusiastic, and we got a tape released.
A tape.
A tape, yes. It's the cool modern new format.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've heard of it.
Yeah.
We got a tape released on a proper tape label, which is
a tape label.
Yeah,
right.
Which is like blew my mind really. I'm used to kind of doing it myself, kind of stuff, and then this is like we just send our artwork off and
they do it all for you. Right.
Yeah, and it's had some internet radio play, and some interesting people enjoying it, which is good. I think there's 9 tracks on the tape.
Right, okay. And it's available on Bandcamp. So it's Nostril Flair. This is Punks into Grown-Up Artists. And what's this? Voya Wire?
Yes, so this
featuring Noventa.
This features a French rapper, spoken word artist.
Uh-huh.
That I've since MySpace days I've enjoyed his work.
Oh, okay.
And eventually got to send him a message and saying, with my old band, would you be into doing a rap on this? And he's like, yeah, all right. And then And
All
then
right.
we've done a collaboration album together, and he came to London. We met each other, which is the weird world of the internet, meeting people that you'd never know. And so I sent him one of the tracks to put some spoken word on, and this is one of the tracks.
International collaboration.
International.
European collaboration.
I'm not a peon.
Right, so settle in, folks. It's quite a short track. It's 1:55, isn't it, this track? Quite short. Here we go. Let's have a listen.
Je regarde. Watching. Watching. Je regarde le monde, Chico. Je scrute. Je me poste derrière la fenêtre, je regarde tout ce qui se passe à droite, à gauche, je regarde tout ce qui se passe, je regarde, je scrute, j'observe. El mundo, Chico. Je regarde. Les gens passer, je regarde le monde. Tout, je regarde tout le monde. Passer dans la rue, je regarde, je scrute. En passant, j'éteins la lumière, je scrute. Ma rue est le monde. Ma rue est le monde. Chaque jour, je regarde tout. Je regarde le monde, je les observe. Je les scrute. Ce qu'il devient, je les regarde. Repense à ce qu'il était. A-t-il changé? A-t-il changé? A-t-il changé? Je ne sais pas. Tel des pantins qui s'agitent. Silence discret, caché. Derrière ma fenêtre, je regarde, je scrute. Dehors, je scrute. Je te regarde. Sorte. Je sais tout ce qui se passe dans ma rue. Je sais tout ce qui se passe. Regarde le monde de ma rue. Je vois le monde sage. Le monde, je vois. Le monde entier, ma rue. Je regarde le monde. Je me cache. Je me cache, j'observe, watching.
The Husk on Mixcloud.
Right, well, there you go. On the Husk, that was Nostril Flair, who you can find on Bandcamp and listen to. What's going on here? Where's Carl gone? What? Oh. Are you right there? Are you right there, Humphrey?
Yeah.
Just having a little rest. We seem to have some technical problems on the show. I think this is where, the enjoyable parts of the show are in the disaster, right?
Disaster? No. This is all.
Oh.
Part of it.
Oh, hello, Humphrey.
Oh yes.
Humphrey. It's good to see you.
Humphrey Pobinson here.
Humphrey Pobinson.
CEO of DBSB Industries.
Yes.
Conglomerated.
Indeed. One of the richest men in...
Well, I've had my ups and I've had my downs, and I've had more downs.
Right, okay.
For tax purposes,
yes.
I've had more downs than ups.
Right, okay. Yes. And so how have you been? I've not seen you for a couple of years. We've had coronavirus.
I've been very busy.
Have you been selling hand gel on the market, or?
Yes. I invested in a Lady Diana commemorative hand gel.
Right.
It's done very well in the home counties.
Well, apparently today it would have been her 60th birthday on the very day that we're recording.
I know.
You should have been up in London selling your hand gel in the sunken well.
Well, yeah, I would have, but I can't afford the train fare.
Right.
So I've sent someone up to walk up there, but I think they've stolen the hand gel.
Right.
But I did sell some as a tax write-off in the home counties.
Understood. And your tax affairs are in hand, are they?
They're always in someone's hand.
Right, okay.
There are hands in my tax.
Right, yeah.
Yes. I've been doing quite well recently because, gentleman from my era. I'm one of the very few that isn't in prison now.
Right.
Yes. So
that's quite an achievement.
That's quite a surprise to
Yeah.
me, to be honest. But it's very good. I've been doing various people's tax rebates.
It's such a fascinating topic for the show.
Yes. Well,
we don't talk about tax enough, really.
No. Well, people don't. That's the secret.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't talk about it too much, and then it will just go away.
Are you offshore? Are you?
Well,
in the Cayman Isles?
I've got some cougarans in a pedalo.
Right. You've got that look about you.
Yeah, so it's just I was nearly going to give away. You're a very sneaky man where my pedalo is moored, but it is in it's safe from French fishermen.
Safe from French fishermen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Anything else you've been up to? What about your hobbies?
My hobbies.
What do you do in your spare time when you're not filling in your tax return?
My hobbies are mainly. Have you ever had a lucky train ticket?
A lucky train ticket?
Yes, it's very, very rarely you get when you get your own tickets from the ticket machine. Mm-hmm. They'll spit out a train ticket which has void written on it.
Right.
And I collect them.
Right.
And but I think they've improved the machine because
that just makes them all the more rarer.
Yes,
and therefore more valuable.
And I've got other things to do other than hanging around by train station.
Well, you say that, Humphrey, but
well, yes, yeah. But that pedalo is not going to pedalo itself, is it?
That's true. It'll require legs.
Yes, legs, and a significant amount of mooring rope.
And how are you getting on with Carl? Because you weren't very happy with him last time I spoke.
Well, to be honest, is he's done a runner.
Right.
He's done a runner, and I don't know where he is.
He's probably doing press ups with horses.
Yeah, well, that was my idea.
Of course.
Because on the YouTube channel, if you have the horses, you can have them starring, and horses don't pay tax.
Right.
So
There's
on
not a
all
horse
the
tax?
money that comes in,
Not a horse tax or a hay tax?
no, none of that tax.
Or a
not
knee
for
tax?
horses. That's why horse racing is. I can't say anymore. But horses don't pay tax.
Right.
People do. Horses don't. That's all I can say.
That is interesting.
Yes.
It's very difficult to get horses to do many tasks, though, isn't it? Apart from running.
On the nose. Yeah, that's why.
Right.
You
could never have one as a secretary, for example.
No. It's no.
Wreck your keyboard, wouldn't it?
It would wreck your keyboard. You need a very special one, and they'd probably only be able to count up to 10 if you stand next to them and secretly nod.
You could I suppose you could get a very big keyboard with horse-sized keys.
I'll tell you about
hoof-sized keys, not horse-sized keys.
Little rabbit hole that I keep falling into on the YouTube when I'm working out the algorithm.
Right.
There's a cat called Billy. He's got a YouTube site called
In the Rabbit Hole.
Billy Speaks.
Billy's a cat. Billy
the cat, and he's got all these buttons that he presses to communicate his wants and needs.
Okay.
And he was inspired by Bunny the dog, who also
hang on. So the horses don't pay taxes, but if you go down the rabbit hole, there's a cat that was inspired by a dog.
Yes.
That's got a YouTube channel.
And they learn how to speak.
Okay.
And it's fascinating. Daily videos of a cat pressing a button that says it's mad. It's wondrous. And again, cats don't pay taxes.
Cats don't pay
I
tax.
think there's something opposable thumbs. I think it's about opposable thumbs.
Thumbtacks.
Thumbtacks, exactly. Thumbtacks.
Like Tampax, but less absorbent.
A lot less absorbent. I was watching some wrestling the other day, and I saw some people throwing each other onto thumbtacks, and that got me thinking. But I don't know what it got me thinking.
Right. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you here.
No, it's good
Humphrey.
to see you. It's good to be here in Husk Mansions.
Now, you were the manager for Nosferatu. Are you still doing that?
Well, I'm not the manager. I just give them a bit of.
And
They were tax write-off.
Have you had any? I'm creating a link here.
Yeah.
Have you had any involvement in this radio play?
The radio play. Well, there is much to be said about that radio play.
Right.
Yes, the phenomena, ethereal phenomena, and mysterious things are also things which can be tax write-offs.
Right. Okay. Yes.
If you were to have a book that wasn't there,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have to pay
No. No tax.
anything for that. No tax, no stamp duty. Perfect.
Indeed. So, our poor listeners, the ones that are still with us, basically what's happened in the universe is Superfan Dave, who's a big fan of the show, he wrote a play. Are you going to call it that? Radio play.
Yes, this is radio play.
And he wrote it quite a while ago. And then he recruited various people in his life.
There is a character in there that I really like. I'm pretty sure that Dave based it on me.
Right, okay.
Eli Hoffman. Hoffman, marvellous character.
I see. And Carl Anderson is in it. You're not in it, I'm assuming, Humphrey.
No. For I have to. Yeah.
Carl Anderson is in it, and it's also I don't know quite what you call it, a moving graphic novel. What do they call it?
Yes. Yeah, video comic.
Video comic. So we've got this little YouTube trailer here. So let's check this out. Here we go.
Albert Einstein once said, "Reality is an illusion, albeit a persistent one."
It's me. I know it's been a long time, but I need to know you're okay.
So, mysteries, ghost stories, weird shit.
You're seeking answers.
I've had experiences.
So we can help each other.
I heard something the other week. An unusual book.
Anyone who reads the book is either driven mad or more commonly disappears. Hello. Would you like this coffee?
What do you fucking want?
I want to find the book.
You're absolutely fucking mad. Absolutely fucking mad. It will get you killed.
I'm obsessed. The book won't close. The book won't close.
Steve Stevenson's reality is about to come crashing down.
There you go. So that's the trailer for... I should get this right now. That's the trailer for the book that wasn't there. That is part 1. Oh, hello, Carl. You're back.
Hello. Yes, I'm back.
But
yeah.
you won't believe it. Humphrey came in. He
Probably
started
going on about tax all the time.
It's like you're interviewing and I'm like, mate, all you're talking about is tax. And like,
You try
I just don't know how far you can go with that.
No, it's not very far. Trying to have a conversation with
It's not an accountancy show.
Yeah, no.
You're trying to make like a light-hearted little, you know.
There's no accounting for taste.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's just sitting there in his jumper talking about fucking dogs and dogs not paying tax. I don't know what he's on about. I'm just like, how am I supposed to make this a show? I don't.
Yeah, sorry.
Can you not bring him next time?
I'll try, but
I mean, I got a soft spot for him, but he's hard work, isn't he?
He is.
He's dry. He's like sand.
very dry and stuck in uncomfortable places.
I'm surprised his jumper didn't just get permanently stuck to that seat like Velcro.
Yeah.
He's probably left all hairs and everything, hasn't he? You have to go
He's
industrial Hoover out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the trailer for the book that wasn't there.
Yes.
Which is part 1, I believe.
Yes.
Of a 4-part
series,
which is called, remind me,
The Book That Wasn't There.
Oh, okay. It's also called The Book That Wasn't There.
The whole lot.
Got you. Which is also, so it's going to be an online kind of animated comic as well. So you can listen to it. You can listen to it for free as audio.
Listen to it as a audio play for free, or for a very minimal amount, you can get the animated.
Yeah, so you can pay $1 for the first one.
I'll buy that for $1.
Well, I did buy it for $1. And then Dave said, I could have sent you that. And I was like, well, it's only $1 in it. So I had that was my second. I listened to it an audio version, and then I watched the thing. And I got to say, I really enjoyed the animation. I thought it was really cool.
It's just enough to tell the story without it being. It's almost like the beginning of Grange Hill.
Yes. And there's an animated
where you
version
know
of
what
you.
the story is.
Yeah.
But it's not telling the story. It's the sound which is telling the story.
Yeah, absolutely. It's mostly sound, but there's just this sort of slightly moving stuff anyway. And the other 3, I spoke to Superfan Dave, and he was like, well, the other 3 are coming, but it's going to take quite a long time.
Yeah,
it's a big
the
old,
animation
big old
process is...
And this is, has he sort of scanned your face and then manipulated it in some way?
Yeah. In the days before these unprecedented times, I did a short film with Dave. He'd had this story.
Yes, I remember this
about the Knucker Hole.
The Knucker Hole, yes.
And we came up with this character, the Steve Stevenson.
The same character, of course, yes.
Steve Stevenson, who is a paranormal investigator who likes to find local folklore and Fortean phenomena. And we kind of both liked his character so much. In the Knucker Hole, he who knows?
Who knows what happens in the
Who knows what happens
Find
in
out
the Knucker Hole? But this story
you probably
is
don't want to know.
Set before the Knucker Hole.
Oh right, it's in the universe, I see.
Yeah,
right.
And it's his. Steve Stevenson has a podcast, and his investigations of local phenomena, and perhaps even the bigger picture of what is.
What's reality? What's going on?
What is reality? What is the whole thing?
What I didn't spot, it's almost as if we're in a small cycle of a small circle of self-congratulatory people, because what I didn't realise was that Bookshop Owner was played by Lou Myhill.
Yeah.
And I actually listened to it twice and without realising that, and then I saw it in the credits and I was like, bloody hell, that's Lou Myhill. And Lou Myhill is going to be here, hopefully, on the show next week.
That's perfect.
What can I say?
Yeah.
And I think also Superfan Dave messaged me, and because Sasha's in it as well, isn't she?
Yeah,
and she's in loads of stuff, right?
She's a busy lady.
Yeah. Well, he was trying to get me on some show that she does. Not that he's spoken to her about it, but I don't know whether that'll be possible or not.
Yeah, well, I might be going on to her show.
The Bexhill.
Bexhill, yes.
Right.
And
is Humphrey going to go down to Bexhill? I would have thought he lives in Bexhill, doesn't he?
No, he lives the other way.
Oh, right. Portslade.
Yeah, further.
Right.
Yeah.
Further, even further.
Even further. There is more beyond.
Okay. Right. So this, how did you get on doing this radio thing? Then have you done this kind of thing before? You've done a bit of acting before, haven't you?
Yeah, I've done bits of acting. Not really done a lot of. I've always liked the idea of doing voice work.
Yeah.
But I have dyslexia, so reading a script straight away and getting it right straight away is a tricky thing for me.
Okay.
But not impossible. And
we've lost video. The iPhone memory's full.
Oh no.
That's all right. Don't worry.
All right.
We'll just plod on.
Yeah.
We've seen Humphrey.
Yeah.
I think Humphrey blew out all the. It's just like I can't cope with anymore. The face recognition kicked in, and that was it. The feds will be here soon, storming down the door.
Yeah. So yeah, I've always been interested in doing a sort of like voiceover and talking stuff, but never actually got round to it. And then when Dave was talking about this, he's going, yeah. So we sort of got a group of people together, people that I've done stuff with before. You know, I've done plays with Sasha and Jack as well, and Daniel, who's one of the main characters in there, and Liz as well.
Yes, of course, Liz.
The Lizatron 4000.
The Lizatron. Yeah.
So yeah, got them together. It was quite interesting doing it because we did it all. This is all during.
It's all through
lockdown,
the lockdowns, wasn't it? Yeah.
So it was a lot of.
So did you record your bits?
Yeah,
completely on your own. Wow.
All separately, and yeah, listening to it, I'm like amazed because it's like people recording on different equipment in different environments. But it still does sound like they're all talking and interacting with one another, which is
it's a really good show on the spooky, interesting side of things.
Yeah,
I'm hoping also to get Superfan Dave on the show. I don't know whether I can drag him out of his little hole in Littlehampton. Because he's always like, it costs so much on the train to get to the big city of Brighton. I'm like, come on, mate, it's a £5, get on the train. But I might be able to get him in the little chair there and
that would be good.
Talk to him because I don't know what's going on in his mind. I mean, you're all a bit weird, aren't you? But I think Superfan Dave.
It's just reading from the synopsis.
Where's it all come from? What happened to him?
Episode 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the thing is, what I don't know. I sort of would quite like to wait for the animation to come out.
Yeah.
Because I think I liked that. I liked that a lot more. So, but I might just lose my patience.
Are there
any more projects with Superfan Dave in the pipeline? Anything else going on?
Well, this has been quite a big one, and
it's huge.
We're just finishing recording parts for the 4th episode.
Oh right, okay. So the 4th one isn't out yet.
It's not out yet, so they're being released as the.
But so the second one's out.
Is the second one's out?
I thought all the audio was out, but the animations were not. That was my understanding.
The first one is definitely out. And I think we're just slowly dripping them out.
I'm gonna have a look.
I've forgotten the name.
You're slowly dripping them out.
Yeah, slowly dripping them out.
Oh, I can't. I'm not going to find this now. Right, okay, so there's some confusion there, but I'm sure it'll become clear. But there's definitely episode 1 is out.
Yeah, episode 1 is definitely out.
So you're recording number 4 now?
Just finishing off the last bits of it. Various small bits. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah.
Okay. Well, you have to give something away. That's what
give something
is.
Away. It ends on a bit of a mystery.
Ends on a bit of a mystery. Who would have thought it? I bet every episode ends on a bit of a mystery, though, doesn't it?
Well, they're quite nice in that they are all interconnected, but I think you could listen to individuals as an individual story.
Yeah.
In each one, there's a different thing that he's going for.
What we need is Humphrey to get some of his Void train tickets.
Oh,
get his little laser printer out, forge them.
Oh, and sell them on the.
No, we can send one to Superfan Dave so he can get a little train up here.
Yeah.
I don't know why the train would be little.
The little train from Littlehampton.
Oh yeah, that's why, because it's in Littlehampton. Isn't it? Everything's small.
Yeah.
In Littlehampton. And here's another coincidence. Do you remember Mim?
Yeah.
Well, Mim has been living in Wales for a long time, but now she's moving back to Littlehampton. She's moving back to Littlehampton, and in a couple of weeks, maybe in 2 weeks, she's going to be hopefully on the show.
Oh, that would be a good show.
Playing us some songs.
Her show.
Yeah, well, we'll be having a chat. She'll be playing us some songs. There'll be no masks, or we won't talk about tax, or we'll just have a little talk about music and play a few folk songs. And
that sounds nice.
I think so.
Yeah.
But then we'll obviously have to find. Then we'll probably get Dave on after that, and that'll take us back down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. There are rabbit holes to go down.
There are. Right. Anything else? Any other weird things that you're involved in? Wrap up with?
I don't think so at the moment. Doing a. Yeah.
You refused to go on the waltzers with me the other week.
Oh, well, that was because I was just
scared.
It wasn't because I was scared. It was because I didn't want to hurt my back before wrestling.
We were drinking in the park, and he said, "Oh no, because I've got my what's that oil you had on your hair?" I said, "Oh no, I've got my special oil on my hair for my wrestling match tomorrow. I don't want to go on the waltzers."
No, it's just last time we went on them, they were spinning us very violently, and
you went out and you went, "Oh, me back."
It put me back out a bit, and I was thinking, I don't want to go into this wrestling match with like a sore back from going on the walls.
So you'll go into a ring with the Jacobite jumping all over you, who's probably twice your size, isn't he?
Yeah,
sort of like pounding his whole body weight onto you, but you won't go on the waltzers with the 8-year-olds.
No, that is you made me see the error of my ways.
What was this video in this first video? What's going on in your hair there? You've got this sort of grey. What's going on here? This what have you done to your hair here? You've done something weird here, haven't you?
On which one?
On this one, where you're doing the.
Can you hear it? Yes.
I hear it.
It's all sort of sticking up like Einstein.
Oh yeah, it does that sometimes.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
I think it was a bit of a sticky day, and I marched up to the woods.
Right. Okay. It looks like you've got some sort of spray in there or something to make it.
I have latex makeup across my eyes.
Right.
Which originally I was going to have black and white latex makeup dripping across my face, but it did look like a bird had flown past and attacked me. So I've just gone for the black.
Now, Carl, well, just to finish off with, let me push you over the edge here of your comfort zone, right? So you're involved in many strange things. You create lots of strange soundscapes in all sorts of different projects. You're in a sort of occult worship of radishes band where you throw radishes at people and dress up like you're in a black magic sort of thing. You also do your own, is it Nil by Nose, where you just make kind of like, scraping noises, rolling around on the floor. You've done this kind of like weird pop-up art stuff at festivals. You're now doing this sort of strange semi-occult sort of radio show.
Yeah.
You're now becoming a wrestler who's a sort of art house fairy kind of, I don't know, dark, chaotic thing. I don't even know what that is. And this is just touching on, you make shows where, I think you told me last time you were making a YouTube show of yourself washing up. And your main aim was to get to a point where no one was watching, which you said was really difficult because the algorithms always have to pop in and check out what you're doing.
Yeah.
You make videos of yourself going and doing press ups with horses and sit ups with horses, and this is just the stuff I know about. I mean, once you turned up, we went to a festival and you turned up with a parachute, without any strings, just the actual material of the parachute. And I said, "What have you bought that for?" And you said, "Well, it's a festival, isn't it? You never know." So you know, you're and of course in your work, you do make some very crazy, wacky kind of videos, which I'm sure you've had some influence over as well. So where does all this come from? Where does all this oddness come from? Is it masking some? Is there some serious side underneath it all, or are you just a jester at heart?
I don't know. It's a very good question. I often do think this as well. It's like, I think I know definitely when I perform music, generally I wear a mask.
Are you afraid of doing something serious, Carl?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, I do like to put a bit of a joke and make
in
it
your
all
entire
silly.
life. Is that in your whole life? You're just sort of
kind
a
of
joker for safety.
It's a safety thing, but then also there's quite an interesting thing in horror films. The best scares normally come just after they've made you laugh, and there's I think when you laugh, it kind of opens your brain up to soaking things in, so it's quite a powerful tool.
Do you ever think about making something more straight and easy to digest and serious?
Sometimes I do with music. I keep thinking, I should do a thing.
Is there any message that you'd like to convey, or not really?
Well, I think generally with my creative output, I'm more interested in what the audience is going to say, what their take on it is, rather than... And I think generally I find that a lot more interesting anyway, of like, rather than what an artist wants you to think, what does the viewer think? I think that's quite interesting because it works a bit like Chinese whispers.
Well, I think it's a valuable and noble approach because a lot of stuff now is gone a certain way. You know, obviously a lot of people are interested in succeeding and making something that's palatable, and sometimes that can become a bit all-consuming, and I don't really like that very much myself.
Oh, so. Yeah, Britain's Got Talent.
Yeah. So you've got to always be careful. It
appeals to loads of people, but it's so beige.
Yeah. I think this is like, even on this show, I don't really want it to become vanilla, which it could easily be, right? You could easily go down that route, and I'm sure there's loads of people doing that.
Oh, I've been messing around on Twitch. I don't know if you've ever watched any videos on Twitch. It is such a weird platform of, like, basically it's just people going, "Oh, hello, poopy hat stand," or, "Oh, thank you for this subscription, Chaos Gnome. Hello, monkey face. Oh, thank you for..." And that's all it is. And that's a live stream. And it's kind of like, well, aren't you going to do something? And there are people who do stuff. There's people who play games. But it does seem this weird nothingness.
Is it because it's a young thing, Carl, and you're an old man, like the Jacobite says?
I think there may be some evidence of truth in that.
You said to me on the last show that because we talked about youth culture, and you said to me it's not supposed to be something that you understand. It's supposed to be something that you don't get.
Definitely. I had a discussion with an older guy in the Evening Star about this. They had some MF Doom playing in the background, and he goes to the barman. "Oh, you know what they really should call this rap music? They missed the C out. They should have called it crap music."
Right.
And I was kind of like, "Oh, that's such a boring and rubbish critique of it. And it's kind of like, particularly with what they were playing, it wasn't like they were playing MF Doom. His rhyme schemes and stuff are like mind-blowing. And it's like, so I did have a bit of a discussion, and he was going, "Oh, I don't mind youth music." I was going, "No, yeah, but you're not supposed to get it. You're not, and you're not a youth, and I'm not supposed to get it. It's there's a certain point in your life where that energy is there doing that thing, and that's when that is. There's certain songs which are perfect if you hit them at the right sweet spot of your life. They're just wonderful.
I suppose the thing is, there's kind of two sides of it, right? Where there's like creative, unusual, slightly new sounding stuff that comes out that maybe is a bit abrasive to your ear, and you're like, I don't really like that, and I don't really get it. But you can sort of see that it's something for somebody. But then there's also the kind of mindless drivel that, like, everything in society seems to be getting more sort of simplified, and like that's affecting youth culture as well, right? In a way, there is something quite worrying happening. Maybe it's not just about kind of us not getting with the kids. It's something else going on. Yeah,
the dumbing down of everything.
It's very strange. After the show last week, we were talking to Georgia about attention spans, and we were like, God, we just both were like, we can't barely read as much as we used to be able to, because...
No, it's the popcorn.